Hi students, today we will learn to use modals. Now, modals are verbs, and yet, like normal verbs, they are not action words. They are verbs that help action words attain all the different possibilities of their meaning. You master the usage of modals, you have half mastered the language. So, what is a modal? Modals are, if I put it simply, they are auxiliary verbs that express modalities. As you all know, verbs are action words, modals are not action words, and yet they help action words to express meaning. Without modals, verbs will be handicapped. They won't be able to convey the meaning they wish to, if only they didn't have the crutches of modals. So, in a way, you can say modals add layers of meaning to your sentences. They denote different nuances of meaning, adding beauty to your language. And they perform a number of communicative functions, which you will learn as we move on with this lesson. So, the function of modals. Now, modals are used to indicate modalities like certainty, possibilities, willingness, obligation, ability. She will teach. I can teach. She would like to teach. You must teach. I have to teach. I can or I am able to teach. So you will see they never change. You don't add S or ED or ING to modals. And they will always be followed by an infinitive without to. You don't say, I can to teach. You will always say, I can teach. And they would not change with the change in pronouns, as we've already seen. I have to teach, you have to teach, they have to teach. Have to doesn't change. And you cannot combine modals with another modal. Like you won't say, I have to, should teach. No, not at all. You cannot say, you must, can teach. That's again a big no-no. You don't change it. You don't change it with the change of tense. You don't say musted or maying or shall. That's again a big no. Now, some of the important modals, as you can see, are can, could, be able to. They denote ability, possibility, and we will explore all these later on. Then there's may and might. Then there's shall, should, ought to, which is about suggestion, about moral obligations. Then must, have to, have got to. Again, they are modals, but have to and have got to are not modals in form. They are only modals in function. Then we have will, we have would. Let us start with can, could, be able to. Can is about ability. When I say, can I teach? I am actually wanting to say that I have the ability to teach. I have been trained to teach. Now, can I teach? I'm not asking you whether I'm able to teach or not. I'm just seeking your permission. Can I start teaching? Can I teach? But when I say leave the door open, she can come anytime. That is a possibility. Anytime it is possible that she would walk in, and that is why I'm asking you to leave the door open. Then cannot. Cannot, as the very negative usage maintains, it's about inability. I cannot teach if you keep making noise. So I'm unable to teach if there's so much of noise in the room. Then it's also about prohibition. Something is prohibited, you will use cannot. You cannot park your car here because that is prohibited. Now let us also explore could. It's about ability in the past. As you can see, could is the past form of can. So it's about your ability in the past. I could play guitar when I was in 5th standard. So it was an ability that I had in the past. I may or may not have this ability in the present. Then could is also used for polite permission. If it is your peer, if it is your equal, or if it is your subordinate or somebody junior or younger in age, you can always say, can I borrow your pen? But if it is somebody senior, if it is somebody higher in the hierarchy, if it is somebody older than you, you would say, could I borrow your pen? So it's about polite permission. Could is also about possibility. There is like, if I say they could sing Mozart, so that means there was this performance going on, and there is a possibility that today they will sing Mozart. So I'm talking about possibility. Now we come to be able to. It's again not a modal in form, but in function it is a modal. Be able to and can both denote ability primarily, but be able to is a little different. I can sing and I'm able to sing. These two sentences denote very different meanings. So they have different connotations. My ability on a specific occasion will be denoted by be able to. I am able to see the mountains from here. So it's an ability which I have when I stand at this point. From here I can see the mountain. Then I will be able to go to school on Monday. So that means before Monday, I was unable to go to school. So it's a newly gained ability. Also, be able to is used for intending, somehow I managed to, somehow I succeeded to do something. So I was able to reach the podium despite the crowd. So it was a lot of crowd there. It was very difficult to glide through that crowd, but somehow I managed to reach the podium. You should be able to attend school from tomorrow. So it's like somehow you will be able to succeed. Today, maybe for a week, you were not able to attend school. Maybe you were down with temperature. Maybe you were unable to go because you didn't have your vehicle, or you were not advised to go to school. But you should be able to attend school from tomorrow. That means that will be a point in time when you will succeed. You will be able to again. Now, this modal can be combined with other modals. And it will change with the change in pronoun. They were able to go, but you don't say I were able to go. You would say I was able to go. So this is a very different kind of modal. Now we come to the second set of modals. May, might, need to. Need not. So may denotes permission, it denotes possibility, it denotes suggestion, and it denotes order. So permission, you may leave. That means you are granted permission to leave. But when I say it may rain, I'm not granting permission to the clouds to rain waters. I'm just saying that there is a possibility that it may rain. You may want to see her today. It's a suggestion. Maybe it would be good if you see her today. And again, may generally denotes a mild suggestion, but it is also used as a strict order. So when the judge pronounces the death sentence, they invariably say the culprit may be hanged till death. So the judge is using may, but it does not mean that he's wanting to say that if you want to hang the culprit, do that, otherwise let him free. No, it's a strict binding order, and yet it is may is being used here. Then we have need not. Need not shows a kind of lack of necessity. It's an absence of obligation. That means you don't need to. So there is no necessity to do something. I have a lot of vegetables. I need not order anymore. So lack of necessity is there. Then you need not stay if you want to leave. So you're not obliged to stay even if you don't want to. So if you really want to leave, there is absolutely no obligation on your part, so you can leave. That is what need not suggests. Now we come to might. So might and may, as you can see, both are for permission, for possibility, and for suggestion. But there is a little difference, like, might I borrow your pen? It's a polite permission. But may is you may leave. That is a kind of strong order kind of thing. When you say it might rain, it's a little different from it may rain. It may rain is possibility and it might rain is also possibility, but the degree changes. When you say it may rain, they say 75% chances of it raining, and when you say it might rain, there is 30% chance of rains. So that is the difference. And suggestion, again, as you say, you may want to see the person. You can also say you might want to attend on him. So might is also a light suggestion. May combined, or might combined with as well. Might as well and may as well, they make a suggestion where there is no option or there is no better option. Like, I might as well stay at home. I may as well stay at home. I just want to say that by going out or doing something doesn't make a difference. So it is better that I stay at home. I have no better alternative, so I may stay home. And then you use may as well or might as well. Now, shall, should, ought to. Again, shall, should, ought to, all the three are suggestions, but again, there you would see very mild differences. So, shall we watch a movie today? That's a suggestion. I'm not asking a question. Though I'm using the interrogative, I am not asking a question. I'm just making a suggestion that it would be good if we could watch a movie today. It's a mild obligation also. You say, I shall join you in the meeting. It can be advised when you use should. From suggestion, you move on to advice. From shall, you move on to should. So you should work hard. That's a piece of advice. In logical conclusions, you also use should. So Ram left at 5. So he should reach by 6 p.m. So that is, I'm calculating because he left this place at 5 and it takes about an hour to reach his destination. He should reach by 6 p.m. So that's a logical conclusion. And for strong obligations, for very strong obligations rather, you use ought to. Ought to, the kind of obligation ought to denotes is different from the obligation that should denotes. Ought to is a moral obligation. So you ought to pass the preliminary exam to sit for the final one. That means you are bound to, you are forced to, and it is the only way out. If you do not pass the preliminary exam, you will not be allowed to write the final one. So then you use ought to. You ought to respect your parents. So if you don't, you are somewhere morally not right. So ought to denotes some kind of moral obligation. Now we come to the most common one, will, would. Will denote certainty, especially when you are talking about the third person. They will play football today. When you say that, it means that a certain group or a certain team will play football today, and you're very certain about that. Will is again about certainty, even when you are talking about the first person, but the word then is determination. When you talk about yourself, it's not only certainty, it becomes determination. I will walk to the office. So I'm determined not to take a bus or a car. I will walk to the office. This is my determination. Now, will also talks about present repeated actions, or you can call it habit. So she will watch her favorite show every day. She will watch her favorite show every day. That means it has become a habit. Come what may, every day she sits and watches her favorite show. That's her habit. That's a repeated action in the present. Now let us talk about would. Would is the past form of will. So would talks about polite requests. It's a conditional, and it also talks about past habits. So let us see how it denotes polite requests. I can always, sitting on the dinner table, I can always say, would you pass me the salt? I could use could here, and if it is my somebody who's younger or junior to me, I could use can, but would you is also a kind of polite request. So saying, could you pass me the salt, or saying, would you pass me the salt? Both are the same. Then would is a conditional. So when you say, I will reach in time, you are determined. Come what may, you will reach there in time. But when you say, I would reach in time, it becomes conditional. So then there would be some other condition which has to be fulfilled. I would reach in time if it does not rain. I would reach in time if the car comes in time. I would reach in time if I am free in time. I would reach in time if it does not rain. So there would be so many conditions that have to be fulfilled. Now, would also has to talk about past habits. I would play cricket when I was a child. So here I'm using would in the sense of used to. So we get to another modal which I forgot to mention here. Used to. So would is used in the sense of used to, and there will not be any change at all in your sentence. So let us take another sentence. There would be a banyan tree at the turn of the road. I mean to say there used to be a banyan tree at the turn of the road. So it's the same, and you can replace would with used to and vice versa. So would is used in the sense of past habit like this. Now let us talk about must. You must attend her class. Here let me point to you ought to again, because they are very similar in their connotations. I use must in this sentence when I say you must attend a class. I'm not using ought to, because ought to denotes strong obligation, though must also denotes strong obligation, but ought to is a different kind of obligation. Must is the need of the hour, the pressure of the hour, and ought to denotes moral obligation. So that is the difference between must and ought to. Then some kind of logical conclusion, or when I'm talking about certainty, I can always say he must have reached college. That means this is the time when he usually reaches college. So I logically conclude that he must have reached the college. Then we have had better. Had better is used in the sense of prohibition. You had better leave the house. You must not enter this gate. And then there's a strong advice that also underlies the usage of must. You must speak to him. That means this is my strong advice, not suggestion this time, because when we take suggestion one notch up, it becomes advice. So you must speak to him. I strongly advise you to speak to him. That's about modals. Keep in mind, students, that modals denote attitude. You have to be positive always, because they can kill your chances, they can kill your language, or they can like make your life, they can make your chances. Like suppose if it were a senior person, um, and you use the word can for seeking permission, simply because you do not know that you should have used could, because could is a politer form of seeking permission, then with all good intentions you have still spoiled your chances. So it's better to learn and to practice models, because even with the right attitude, you do not come across as a person of right attitude if you have not mastered the art of using modals. So this much for now. Wait for my next lesson. Till then, bye bye.